humbly call on His Excellence, Ambassador Akinremi Bolaji, Director of Reforms and Innovation, Department of Foreign Affairs, Abuja. Sir, you are needed on the platform. A reminder, the key to sustainable food security and regional trade is the key. A round of applause for Our Excellency. Sir, you are most welcome.
Thank you so much. Great farmers, thank you so much. Good morning to every one of us. The President of the Poultry Association of Nigeria, Iche, thank you for the wonderful opening remarks you have given. And to our Southwest Chair, Reverend Gideon Oluleye, thank you for being such a great man. You indeed said you love me, and I must say I love you back. Of course, I'm son of the soil. I'm an Ibadan man. And to be here with you in the Southwest is a great joy for me. Thank you for all the hard work that you are doing. And to the chair of the local organizing committee, thank you for such a great job. I learned you have lost some weight. It's good for you. That means you will live very long. All right. To my good brother, Michael David, from the UN Soya program, thank you for all the hard job you're doing. God bless you. I've seen a lot of partners. They all seated here. I can't be mentioning your name. I don't know whether I should call Olam a foreign company or a Nigerian company. Olam, where are you? Is Olam in the hall? Let me start with that. Many may not know that Olam started in Nigeria. So Olam is a Nigerian company. We gave birth to it, we nurture it, and it became an international company. Would you clap for Nigeria? Yeah, I can say that boldly because I happen to be the High Commissioner in Singapore, and the chairman of Olam is a Singaporean, moved from being a Nigerian to become a British, and now became Singaporean and became international figure. That's to tell you that Nigeria is an incubator. So if you have a vision, you have a goal, Nigeria will help you to fulfill it. I've been told that I have 20 minutes, so I'm not going to bother to read all of my paper for today, because that can be circulated. But I will speak to it. But let me start by commending all those who have worked very assiduously to put this together. You have done a beautiful job. We commend you. More grease to your elbow. Let me also bring good tidings from the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And my speech is going to go along that line. He has sent me here to assure you that the Foreign Ministry will be your collaborator. And the reason is that it is time to break up your fallow ground. What did I say? It's time to break up your fallow ground. Our message to you this morning is that you have done very well, but there is still a lot for you to do. And for you to move to the next stage, you will need the Ministry of Foreign Affairs more than you have ever imagined to be your partner. And I'm here to assure you that we will do the job together. All right? So, all the data I would like to bring on the general or the global overview of poultry farming and trade are things that you can access online. For example, poultry meat account for 30% of global meat production, amounting to over 140 million tons annually. You can get all of this. What about the global egg industry? This is about 1.6 trillion eggs annually, which is valued approximately at $250 billion. We can move on to look at who are the major producers. Because if we want to collaborate internationally, we must know those we are going to collaborate with. The United States, China, Brazil, India, European Union. European Union because There are so many of the states, of the countries of EU that are doing very well. But Brazil remains the world's largest poultry meat exporter, shipping over 4.8 million tons annually to more than 150 countries. So I think Brazil is a good example for us to copy. Now globally, poultry trade has exceeded 1.2 billion, but Africa's contribution is below 5%. I think that is worrisome. That is quite worrisome. I decided to mention this under global trade on poultry. So let's look at Nigeria now. If Africa has less than 5%, then what does Nigeria have? It will be a percentage of the 5%. Okay. So Nigeria is in a peculiar circumstance. Over 220 million citizens, largest economy in Africa. Nigeria is the largest in poultry farming in Africa. It's valued at 1.6 trillion, which is just about 1.2 billion naira. So with all you are doing from Sokoto to Lagos, from Badagry to Calabar, it's just this amount. Oh, you will say it's huge. It might look huge to you, but with over 200 million people, this is very small. As a matter of fact, our bird is calculated to be about 650,000 metric tons of eggs, 300,000 metric tons of poultry meat annually. So the sector, provides over 25 million direct and indirect jobs. That's Nigeria. Okay? So what happens to the rest if all we're talking? And I tell you, in agriculture or livestock, the highest employer of labor in or livestock is actually poultry. Yes. All right? So if this is our situation, what is our problem? Some of it have been mentioned. Number one is the high cost of feed, accounting for over 70% of production cost. Number two, limited access to finance. And I thank the chair of the Southwest. He hit the nail on the head. I didn't know when I took out my phone, I started recording him. I saw the passion. It's not easy to govern. But I want to clarify, it's not fighting government by zeal. All he's saying is that we plan something, it was implemented in a different way. Let's go back to the original plan. I want to assure you that one of the positions I will take from here is that we should go back to the original plan. The third is the weak cold chain infrastructure and logistics. When we talk about power, you know that it affects something like this. And so this is a great issue for us. Number four, disease outbreak. We know this very well because I'm going to tell you a story of my own self and my family when it comes to poultry. But when it comes to disease, a lot of people have lost their money. Number five is the fragmented value chain and low processing capacity. These we can easily overcome, and I will tell you how. Number six is policy inconsistency, affecting production and trade competitiveness. This we can also overcome, and we shall show you. All right, so if we look at poultry in Africa, 5%, in Nigeria, percentage of the 5%, all right, how can we then leverage the international community? We have seen countries that we can model after, and I can remind you because we need that. Some of them are here represented. I've mentioned countries like Brazil, who is the world leader in poultry meat export. All right. India, I can see a lot of my friends from India here today. India has achieved poultry self-sufficiency through smallholders, inclusion public-private partnership, and affordable feed initiative. What about Netherlands? Let's be specific now when it comes to Europe. This is known for high biosecurity, automation, and research-driven innovation in eggs and broiler production. What about South Africa? Let's come home. All right? South Africa is Africa's most competitive poultry exporter. Even though Nigeria has the largest, but when it comes to competitive poultry exporter, South Africa is one. Why? Because it's supported by trade agreements, with SADC. This we don't have. SADC is Southern Africa Development Commission. We don't have this yet, and I want to challenge you, Nigeria, the big brother of West Africa, that we need to have this. We need to have this, all right? Certainly it's going to bring efficient chain in our system. So Nigeria can learn from this model that I've mentioned above, all right? Before I roll on, let me speak a little on the role of the foreign ministry, because that is what is going to be of tremendous assistance to you. Our foreign policy is standing on 4 pillars of democracy, development, demography, and diaspora. And by the time I finish, I will show you how you can leverage a lot of Nigerians that are into poultry all over the world. You'll be surprised that Nigerians are contributing to those countries that are reigning today in the poultry subsector. So MFA is committed to prioritizing its role in achieving the goal of Poultry Association of Nigeria, because your vision becomes our vision as the foreign ministry. Now, we will go into partnership with you, which means we will not just be invited to your show, but we will plan together, implement together, and we will advise you on how to go about it. How can the ministry assist the Poultry Association and other stakeholder? We can do this. Number 1, trade facilitation and market access. I know you don't want to eat everything that you produce, and the only way is to have access to other people's economy. We shall use our embassies, missions abroad, to identify export opportunities for poultry and poultry inputs. Number 2, we shall engage with regional and multinational platforms such as the Africa Free Continental Free Trade, ECOWAS, and WTO to advocate fair market access and favorable trade conditions. Now, the world is quid pro quo. You do for me, I do for you. Scratch my back, I scratch your back. What Foreign Affairs does very well, that makes us to be able to secure access, market access, and give trade facilitation, is that we coordinate with relevant agencies within our economy. Talk about customs, Ministry of Finance. We ensure that they have policies that allow other people to benefit, so that when you seek for benefit elsewhere, they are able to give you. Our partnership and collaboration will also include facilitating bilateral MOUs between Nigeria poultry shareholders and global leaders. The world is ruled by agreement. Go into another country without an agreement. And there are experts in such agreement. Someone like me who has traversed all aspects of diplomatic life, having been in United Nations in New York with a lot of resolutions that have promoted Nigerian interest. Diplomats know how to craft agreements, because among us are lawyers. We are not just diplomats, we are also learned people. So we will assist you so that you don't go have agreements that are not going to be in your interest. Number 3, we will promote technical cooperation, training, research exchange. I've heard from the chair of the Southwest how some countries have assisted in training. If it is well packaged, you can get more than double of what you are getting now. I have spoken about diaspora. Let me break it down. That's what is called diaspora investment. So I'm speaking now about diaspora and investment promotion. We need to mobilize Nigerian diaspora investors to invest in modern poultry clusters and export-oriented value chain. We need to encourage joint venture between Nigeria agribusinesses and our diaspora. A lot of diaspora are building houses that they will not come back to enjoy, but they can put their money into businesses like poultry that they can see and monitor. And they just need to have joint venture with their fellow Nigerians back home. We will navigate this with the diaspora because there is issue of trust. Yes, there is issue of trust, and we are the only one who can tell them that we are the door. We see in, we see out. We will assure them we can monitor what is going on here, and we have such facility working through the Nigeria Diaspora Commission, which is an agency of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So in terms of policy advocacy and diplomacy, we are here to strengthen and coordinate with relevant ministries. Ministry of Agric, I was with the Minister of Agric yesterday at the G20 meeting, and indeed I mentioned to him, tomorrow I will be speaking at the Nigeria Poultry Show in Abeokuta, and he said, oh, I was not invited. I said, poultry is under livestock. I have to use diplomacy, right? Well, that is to tell you that there is a lot of work for you. All right? So we also coordinate with the Minister of Trade. Just about a few days ago, we were together at the Turkish National Day. So these are people that we can easily navigate with. The Minister of Finance and the Ministry of Finance. So this helps you in terms of export competitiveness. All right? We need to promote Nigeria's agricultural interest in global food security and trade forms. And these, the foreign affairs, will help you if you are ready. There's one aspect I want to mention here before I close. And that I have discussed again with Reverend Gideon, that you need to collaborate with a new agency that has just been created by the federal government, which is the Southwest Development Commission. The commission is already over 2 months, about 3 months, so it's no longer new. And if you read paper today, they're already doing well. They're already mobilizing both local and international. So how can a very important subsector like the poultry sector not leveraging on such a commission? The federal government created it for you, and you must make use of it. This is designed to bring federal might to the grassroots for greater impact in regional development and economic inclusion. I have told the chairman of the Southwest that this I can do for you, but you must ready to do what is right. Okay? So we propose to you, as we continue in our collaboration, a framework for collaboration. And I just want to flag it here. In our own working in the foreign ministry, we look forward to institutionalize this cooperation. So the ministry is proposing a poultry sector international engagement framework, what we call PSIEF, to anchor on 3 pillars. And please take note of these 3 pillars. Number 1 is partnership development. Partnership development. This is going to link Nigeria poultry stakeholders with foreign investors, technology providers, and research institutions. You need these 3 if you are not going to be operating on the surface. If you are not just going to be doing just be doing abracadabra, kalu style. You need to have an enduring, well-sound, well-footed, grounded, stakeholder engagement. So we are proposing partnership development on these 3 areas. Number 1, foreign investors. An investor is different from a technology provider. All right? And it's different from a research institution. You need these 3 pillars. Number 2, we will want market expansion. And our idea is to leverage Nigerian mission. They must have your logo. We have missions in 114 countries of the world. They should have your banner in all of our mission. That does not cost you anything. Make the banner, send it there, put what you do there, put how you can be assessed, how you can be assisted. we are giving you the space free. You are not paying. So we need to leverage Nigerian missions abroad to open export market for promotion products and inputs. So when you reach out through the missions, the opportunities are limitless. And finally, policy dialogue. Policy dialogue is even different from investment. But you know, coordinating with MDAs. For example, when you speak about poultry, you know, it is not just food. Poultry is culture. And I'm going to end up with that. But you will need banking. You know, you need to talk to Afro-Exim. You need to talk to ECOWAS, ETLS. There are so many opportunities that we are not exploring here. All right? So this framework will ensure that the Poultry Association of Nigeria benefit from structured, continuous engagement with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Nigeria diplomatic network worldwide. More importantly, I volunteer, and may I say voluntarily, myself to serve as the advocate for this engagement framework. And in case you don't know, one of my cherished name is Eniola, which means Ola's egg. You know, this reminds me of the symbolic importance of today's cause. Distinguished participants, Mr. President of Nigeria Poultry Association, achieving sustainable food security and regional trade growth through the poultry subsector is not merely an agricultural goal. It is a national strategic imperative. With Nigeria population projected to exceed 250 million by 2030, the demand for affordable animal protein will continue to rise. The poultry industry must therefore transition from subsistence to globally competitive, export-oriented sector powered by innovation, policy coherence, and international collaboration. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs stands ready to partner with the Poultry Association of Nigeria, working hand in hand with other institutions like the Southwest Development Commission to ensure that federal policy escalates into tangible grassroots impact, using diplomacy for development to unlock opportunities in regional and global trade. Together, we can make Nigeria not just self-sufficient in poultry production, but a continental leader in agro-export, innovation, and food security. I'll round up with this family experience. We cannot afford next edition of the poultry show to be like this. I commend what you have done so far, but there are strategies that can make the CNN to cover this event. There are strategies that can make the BBC, all of the international media to be here. So you need to start your planning, getting the real stakeholders. But it has to start with this mindset that the poultry of the 21st century is not what my grandmother did. My grandmother was a poultry farmer, but she had no poultry. She only has the bird. She had the birds that were eating in her husband's compound, and they were going all around our village. Okay? And she tied a little around their wings. Okay? Oh, you can all relate with that. That was my grandmother for you. To the extent that in those days when she visited us in Ibadan, she wouldn't stay long, and we say, why? He said, my chicken needed me back home. We say, but somebody is giving them corn. He said, no. They welcome me when I come. All right? And one of our sons, in his own days, even though he was a reverend, later became a bishop in Anglican, also went into poultry. And it was the first Anglican here in Yewa Diocese. I'm talking of Bishop T.I.O. Bolaji. All right? He was a serious poultry farmer in Ibadan. Okay? But do you know that the poultry he practiced then in the 70s, 80s, 90s cannot be the one we are practicing now? All right? He was a bishop and have a poultry. But his son is doing poultry today. And his son is a lawyer. Okay? And so he's multidimensional. But that is not where I am going. Some of us are still practicing my grandmother's poultry, even though you have poultry. But I tell you the truth, as we all go in this journey together with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and some individuals who have the heart for it, your poultry is going to become AI poultry. And so I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. God bless.
That is mind-blowing. A round of applause for His Excellency, Ambassador Akinremi Eniola. The man has said so much. You can see he's being celebrated.